So everyone, welcome to the alcohol series. So we've decided to make this series because, as everybody knows, alcohol is a very big issue in the Punjabi culture. We're not going to say Sikhi because it's got nothing to do with Sikhi, but a lot of our people who have Singh in their name, unfortunately, are drowning in alcohol. We've got people of all age groups, some people in their 20s, it's just every weekend they have to drink, some people every evening, and then you've got obviously people in their 50s, olders, and we're not sitting here judging. I've been on that path before as well, where I used to drink, but people have gone through certain things that have made them, take these lifestyles. But we are basically creating this series now where we are going to interview different people who have gone through different things when it comes to alcohol. So we've got people who have stopped alcohol through finding Sikhi, and we've got people who just through training have stopped alcohol. So these are the two main ways that people can stop alcohol and sort of stop chasing that dopamine that we're all looking for, that feel good chemical in our body, which is dopamine. We are getting that from alcohol, unfortunately, but it should be from Sikhi, connecting to Naam, and training. Our whole life falls apart when we look for dopamine in the wrong way. So with Guru Skipper, we've got 3 guests that will be coming on this series. Our first one will actually be a friend of ours from the Sinclair Method. His name's Harvey. So we've basically interviewed him regarding his method to get our people off of alcohol. And this is called the Sinclair Method UK. You'll find out more about it in this episode. But the reason we put this as the first episode is because we just want to help people. We want this to be out there for people rather than us taking a bit longer getting it out. So we do think this will be one of the most effective in terms of actually bridging that gap between people who are going through something and people can provide the help to those people.
We're so lucky to have Harvey on the podcast today. He'll be talking about real life scenarios, real life examples of people struggling, going through alcohol issues, and then hopefully in that way, if you are struggling and you're going through something yourself, through our channel, through Seek Warrior Project, you can get help through the Sinclair Method, and we'll provide you with a link in our description.
You've got these 3 different methods. You can seek medical help, you can stop through martial arts, fitness, and the ultimate way to change is Sikhi. It's going to Maharaj and doing your ardas. That's it. Without further ado, enjoy the series and enjoy the first episode with Harvey from the Sinclair Method.
Yeah, and the stories we hear day in, day out, sometimes I can't even believe. They probably never heard of something like this. So it's up and coming. So
this is why I want to get something like this out to our community in particular, because
there's about 3.3 million deaths per year from alcohol, and in the UK alone there's 70 people that die each day.
We're not in that situation where I feel so reliant on this thing. It's controlling my whole life.
Sikhi is all about seeking truth, and so Maharaj might
want to face hardship for the rest of your life. That's fine. Enjoy your 2-3 hour session living like a degenerate.
There's a lot that we can do to help support them on that, and what they can replace their voids with, believing in a higher power, and that's going to get you healed. But it's the tools that we have that we've got to use in order to help.
And yeah, you might have a hard training session, and training sessions are hard, and change is hard, but pick your heart. Like, do you want
to have the relationship I had with you guys to get this to our community, because our community is struggling.
They have after that. If they have Sikhi and they have martial arts, it's Sikh Warrior Project.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong.
And imagine replacing that thought with something else, whether it be coming to the Gurdwara, doing seva, or whether it's working out.
Even if that would help them, they wouldn't go there. It's more of it's a prideful thing, right? It's the ego.
Yeah. British people. We've been on the front cover of Times, we've been on the Telegraph, we had 2 Daily Mail articles, and she woke up the next morning and she said, I can't believe that bottle's laying there.
Cool. Okay. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So guys, welcome back to the alcohol series. So we started this series to basically highlight the issue, the elephant in the room sort of thing, with what's going on in our community. Everybody resorting to alcohol, and we've done 2 episodes on individuals who have changed their lives and stopped indulging in alcohol through Sikhi and martial arts. So we know that that's not always the case for some people. Some people are, very deep into their circumstance where they actually have to seek medical attention. So that's why we have Harvey here today, who's involved in something which he's going to go further into. But before we go into that, we just want to know a little bit more about you, Harvey. So if you could just introduce yourself, who is Harvey? And that's it,
Happy to be here. Thanks, guys. So name's Harvey. I'm a scientist by education. So I studied biomedical science at uni, and then went on a bit of a commercial career. So I went into medical sales, medical device sales, so selling medical devices to hospitals and stuff. And then as a sales rep, then moved into management, managing teams, and then I went into managing more smaller companies, helping them scale. And then probably for the better part of a year and a half, I've just been looking to buy businesses, one of which has been the Sinclair Method, which is the cure for alcoholism, essentially. So,
So what is different about Sinclair Method for you? You know, I know there's one thing running a business, but there's obviously with something like this. So we've had conversations. I know it's a lot more deep rooted than just a business that you decided to get involved in. So what is it about Sinclair Method that gives you sort of purpose at the same time?
I think probably because of the stories people come with, and it does change their lives. Like a lot of people that come to us are the worst of the worst, and some people that just want to reduce their drinking. So we've treated probably close to 6,000 patients so far. Obviously, we bought the business about 6 to 8 months ago, but the previous owners had treated about 5,000, and so to date we've treated another 1,000. And so a lot of these people come with underlying issues with their alcohol, whether it be family issues themselves. They can't, get up in the morning, very bad hangovers, but it's all the social things that are related to heavy drinking. Family, work, all those types of things. So when they come to us and then they go on to heal, I think it's just the best satisfaction you can have knowing that you've changed someone's life. And I think that's the biggest part. I mean, we have a few coaches that work with us, and the stories we hear day in, day out, sometimes I can't even believe. They come by email, sometimes text, and a lot of them leave reviews, but when you look into deeper, when they started and where they are now, is a huge difference. What's
one on the top of your head where someone's contacted you guys and you've basically seen them through the whole process and they've come out on the right side?
It'll probably be someone called Luke. He actually works with us. He's a senior coach at the company, and he went through the program years ago. So I know he won't mind me speaking about him. And he was probably having a few bottles in the morning, drinking a few bottles in the morning, alcohol in the afternoon, and then in the evening as well. And I mean, for that's probably, that's way over the weekly limit and even daily limit. So he was having what people would have a week and a day. And he spent tens of thousands of pounds in rehab. I think he spent probably close to 40 to 50,000 pounds in rehab. Tried all other methods and then came to us. He was a quick responder. In fact, he had something funny. He bought, when he started the program, he bought a can of a box of beers actually, and he's still got it as a monument in his back shed that he only went through half of the beer can.
And,
and it's still sitting there, and that's his trophy almost.
That's when he started the program,
and he was a quick responder.
Wow.
No longer thinks of alcohol. This is the way we say it, and I know we'll touch on this point, is the analogy we give is, what does a rock think about? Nothing. And so when you go through the program, what you think of alcohol is nothing. Your brain goes back to how it was when you never drank before. What did you think of alcohol? Nothing.
Okay, cool. So that should lead us to how Sinclair Method works then. I think it's best to explain what is Sinclair Method, how does it work, before we go into how we all believe, for sitting here, that this is something good to put forward to. Because obviously at the end of the day, Sinclair Project, everybody knows what we're about, right? Everyone's probably thinking, why are we talking about the Sinclair Method and introducing on this platform where we're always encouraging martial arts? But it's because obviously having conversations about the Sinclair Method, I know people are going to find out more about it as well. It ties in perfectly, because also when you stop alcohol, it's always that thing. It's always an ongoing battle you're going through, and you need to replace that with something. And it's all like an illusion, right? Like we're all, as human beings looking for something. Is dopamine that we're looking for, and people seeking it in the wrong place. But it's just we made it a habit. So even though so many people drink alcohol. Everyone who drinks alcohol isn't a proud drinker. That they drink alcohol. They'll say, I only do it this many times, but really and truly, it's like 4 or 5 times the amount that they say that they do. So that's why, like, on this platform, we've decided that this is actually a good thing to promote. So alongside the whole martial arts, as we've done in the previous episodes, fitness, Sikhi, all these ways people have stopped alcohol, we feel like, okay, some people do need that sort of medical attention. A process like Sinclair Method is perfect for that reason. And so break down for us what Sinclair Method is, and then we could go more into the community problems around alcohol.
Yeah, of course. I think for a lot of your viewers as well, they probably never heard of something like this. So it's up and coming. So Sinclair Method was created by, it was coined by a doctor called Dr. David Sinclair, hence Sinclair Method. And he worked with another doctor called Dr. Roy Scappa, and he wrote a book called The Cure for Alcoholism, which is a big claim, because if you go through AA or you go through rehab, once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. And a lot of people that go through those programs will say, I'm a recovering alcoholic. But if I told your viewers today that you can be a recovered alcoholic, it's a big claim to make. Wow. So there's over 120 clinical trials on the Sinclair Method, and it's based on going to the root cause of alcoholism, which is that it starts from the brain. And the brain learns the behavior for alcoholism, meaning that when somebody drinks alcohol, so if you look at the general population, 85% of people will be okay to drink and, not ever get addicted to it. They can control their drinking. They can abstain, meaning say, I don't want to drink today. But it's 15% of people that struggle with alcohol. And there's about 3.3 million deaths per year from alcohol. And in the UK alone, there's 70 people that die each day from alcoholism. So Sinclair Method, very simply, is a methodology created by David Sinclair, Dr. Roy Scappa, to heal the brain and rewire the brain, as I mentioned earlier, back to where it was before drinking any alcohol. And that rewiring happens over the course of 3 to 4 months. It's a medically assisted program. So you take a medication an hour before drinking called naltrexone. There's another medication called nalmefene. So you take it an hour before you drink, and it blocks the endorphin reward. So what we know about alcoholism is that it's a learned behavior, and our brain is wired for endorphin. It's the way we thrive as human beings. It's the reptilian part of our brain, evolutionary biology, in that when we learn behaviors like, whether it's you guys doing mixed martial arts, you guys learn that it gives you endorphins, and it's the way you thrive, it's the way you move forward. Those things become habits, just like eating chocolate cake every single evening. You do that long enough, it becomes a learned behavior. So your brain says, you know what, that's the way I'm going to get my endorphins. So it wires itself that way. So you crave it, you have thoughts for it, and then you pick up the chocolate cake, or you get into the car to go to the gym. And the same way for alcohol, that's the same way it occurs. It may be just walking past an off license, going to a pub, the cracking of a beer, or it could be the bubbles in a champagne. Those things are the thoughts, the cravings, because the brain has rewired itself so much so that that's what happens. But when you take a medication called naltrexone, it blocks what we call opioid receptors. So essentially where endorphins bind to. So they don't bind to that anymore probably for 8-9 hours of a drinking session. You do that over time, and what happens is the brain rewires itself until there's a point called extinction. So there was a famous study done by Pavlov's dogs. Pavlov won a Nobel Prize for something called classical conditioning. So what happens is you put a dog into a cage and you ring a bell and you give it food. Over time, what it will learn through conditioning is that if I just ring the bell, it will start to salivate, not even at the sight of food or anything like that. So you've conditioned the dog to say, when the bell rings, you salivate, and it will salivate. Now, let's say I remove the food, but I just ring the bell. Dogs will still salivate. But what will happen over time is that they will start salivating less and less until they salivate no more, because their brains rewired itself to remove that association. And that's the same with Sinclair Method, that you go through the program. It's about 3 or 4 months, and your brain no longer wishes, no longer is wired for that reward anymore. Okay. And so the brain completely heals itself.
Wow. That's brilliant. And it's like, it's not like many other drugs that you see sort of thing with this. So it's just like fairly new.
The drug's been around, the medication's been around since probably about 1994 by the FDA.
Yeah.
So it's FDA approved. It's approved by the NHS and nice guidelines.
Yeah.
And a lot of people argue, oh, you're just taking another pill to get rid of another addiction. But it's non-addictive. And a lot of, when people argue that, is that it's selective extinction, meaning that it will not work if you do nothing. If you just take the drug and you kind of just go about your day, nothing really happens. Fine, you'll get some blocked receptors. But the important thing is drinking on the medication. So the medication has been around for a while. It's been around long enough, but it's very hard to change paradigms of medical society because everything is based on traditional models, which is abstinence. Don't quit drinking. Once an alcoholic, you're always an alcoholic. And that's very difficult to change. So not many people know about the medication and the method.
I guess realistically, people who want to quit and they're being told to stop, and they're kind of being told to just abstain from it. Then then either you get a physical response, you get a mental response, start breaking down. Eventually they'll just go back to it. But what you're saying is that person is going to drink anyway, again, right? They're definitely going to drink again, most likely anyway. Obviously there's exceptions and stuff. So when they do have that drink, if they're on this program and they're taking that medication, it's going to block those receptors. And when they have it, they're not going to feel the benefits of it. They're not going to feel, well, there's no benefits anyway, but the perceived benefits of it. So, it's kind of more realistic in that sense. It's like that person is going to most likely have another drink. But if they have the desire to stop, they can take that medication before it. And I guess there's a whole process to it. It's not just take the medicine. You got to kind of do it a certain way. And I think you have like a consultation process as well. Yeah. So there's more to it, of course. But generally speaking, that's the principle.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely. And I think you hit a point there, which is very important for people to know, is something called the alcohol deprivation effect, which basically means that the longer, somebody says 1 in 10 people can quit on their own. And that's people, let's say you go to the doctor and they give you a liver test result and say you can never drink again. Or whether it's a family member, let's just say it's the wife or husband saying, if you don't quit today, I'm leaving. 1 in 10 people can quit on their own. But that leaves 90 to 95% of people that cannot quit on their own. Is because of the deprivation effect. Meaning that the longer that you are abstinent, the stronger your cravings become and the relapses get worse. And that's because your brain gets a great deal of reinforcement once you abstain for long. And it's just like me giving you the example. If you hold your breath long enough, you'll have to breathe. And it's the same thing with alcohol. You're holding your breath for, let's just say 3-6 months. And great news that they've, abstained. But that's where the likes of, Alcohol Anonymous or maybe rehab is that you never have true healing because you're constantly fighting cravings. And this is where I say there's difference between a recovered alcoholic and a recovering alcoholic. And the best analogy I can give is, imagine that there's 2 neurons. There's a top one and there's a bottom one. The top neuron, typically if you're a non-alcoholic, will have to fire 100 times in order for the bottom neuron to pick that information up. And if I told you that the bottom neuron is responsible for picking up the drink, that's like 85% of people that are non-alcoholics, is that they will, the top neuron needs to fire so many times. What happens with an alcoholic is that when they go and drink over time, over days, weeks, years, is that the brain learns that behavior. And so the top neuron only has to fire once.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to give
Absolutely, yeah. And so the bottom neuron, it's very, very easy for them to pick up that drink. But what interestingly happens is that, imagine you're on the bottom neuron and you're looking above. You don't just see one top neuron, you see lots of them. Wow. And so your brain rewires itself to say, I've got loads of receptors available. And so all of those neurons just need to fire once. And that is where the deprivation effect is that the longer that you go without alcohol, and people say, I can quit on my own. be careful, because 95% of people relapse within the first year of abstinence. And so you go long enough, your brain is still wired that way. And so you will still get to that point where you have such huge cravings, you will relapse, and the relapse gets worse and worse. And so
So how long are you taking this drug for until it's just like, okay, I don't need to take this anymore? How long would you say?
we always say it's for life. And the medication, the golden rule is to take it an hour before a planned drinking session.
Yeah.
Now, some people will argue, oh, that's difficult. Why can't I just quit? You've got to remember to take the medication.
Yeah.
But relatively speaking, if you know you've got to take a medication an hour before, it's a bit easier than relying on willpower alone.
Yeah.
And so you will, pharmacological extinction, as I described to you, where the dog salivates no more or somebody no longer thinks about alcohol, takes about 3 to 4 months. Some people take about 6 months. We've had very rare cases where it takes 8 to 9 months. Now, it is for life. So what happens is the synapses become silent. So those connections I said to you about the top and the bottom neuron, they become silent. But it's very easy to reactivate them. So if you drink off the medication, it's not necessarily a relapse, but it's more of you can learn that behavior again, so.
Yeah. So how long are they? So what does your whole package, and we can get into the packages soon, but what does that include then? So they take the medication for life, but then what's your service within that? So how do you support them?
We do a doctor's consultation with one of our Sinclair Method doctors. They've been doing this for 5-6 years. It's an off-label prescription. And so they do the doctor's consultation, and the client will fill out a medical screening form, how much they drink, and it's all private, confidential, so nothing is shared outside of Sinclair Method or even the NHS. Once they do the doctor's consultation, they'll get a prescription for the medication. There is a UK-wide shortage, in fact, a worldwide shortage of naltrexone and nalmefene. So we've got the reason why the company exists is because we worked hard to get the infrastructure in place to work with the pharmacies, the wholesalers, and the manufacturers to source it. They'll get the prescription for the medication. They'll start the medication only on planned drinking sessions. And then they get a coaching and counseling element to it. There's about 50-60% of people that do the coaching and counseling. But we've seen that they achieve extinction in half the time when they do coaching and counseling. So it's about mindful drinking, that type of thing. So that's the whole package. That package is 3 months. We've got a package for 6 months as well. Most people take up the 3-month package. And usually that's, most of the time, that's enough for them to achieve extinction.
Okay, cool. And then, so they'll get the 3-month package, and then for that 3 months, are you providing them the tablets in that 3 months, or after 3 months, are they still getting them from you?
Yeah.
Or can they just get it themselves after they've done the service?
Yeah, they're free. They once the 3 months are up, they get a 168 tablet prescription, which so that they're able to order those the medication through our partner pharmacies.
Yeah.
Now, they are more than happy to see if they can get it through their GP or they can get it through a Boots pharmacy. We always say to be mindful of that, because there are expensive brands and there's less expensive brands, but because we order on a regular basis, I mean, we see about 300 to 400 patients a month. And so we've got that supply with the partner pharmacy. So a lot of the clients finish their 3 months, let's just say. But 168 tablets usually last about a year, year and a half almost sometimes, because if you think about the first 3 months, or the first 3 months are very important, because they'll have high drinking sessions and they'll kind of slow down until they kind of drink no more. And it's so infrequent. Some people decide to just quit altogether at that point. But there's some people where they have social occasions, whether it's be a Christmas or a wedding or something like that. They'll just take it so infrequently, so the tablets, last so much longer for that. So they come back for a follow-up prescription, which we give them for another 168.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I think it's good in any case, because like you're going from someone whose life is completely reliant on alcohol to now either stopping altogether, which is the ultimate aim, I would say, in what we say we should be doing, trying to achieve, or reducing it to a point where it doesn't control your life anymore.
Oh, absolutely.
So I mean, this is what we're talking about. Like you then replace that with something. If you then pair that, replacing it with something else, martial arts, Sikhi, some playing an instrument, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
That's the way to go.
Yeah, and I think it's a good thing to say about the biology of it. So let's just say that somebody drinks on the naltrexone on one evening, because you're blocking the endorphin receptors. The following day, you get hypersensitivity, and this is where the coaching is very important, because we always and that's where the good endorphin activities are very important, because you've got more available receptors and they're more sensitive to endorphin. So the idea is it will create a void, and that void needs to be replaced. And it needs to be replaced by good endorphin activities, whether that be exercise, martial art, mixed martial arts, or boxing, whatever it may be. Those things feel better. And when they feel better, they're more likely to form as habits. And so this is the most beautiful thing about this, is when people say that their lives have changed, it's not necessarily because of the alcohol. It's because that they've gone through the program, it created a void, and they've replaced that void with something else.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so as we've seen from the previous guests, people through kirpa meaning like God's grace, right, are able to be in companies, you know, where they are now, because I used to drink as well. I wasn't like a crazy drinker or anything, but I used to go to parties and everything, and through kirpa, I would say I was able to change. Obviously, I didn't need any sort of tablets, but there's people that are so deep into it, and there's people that haven't got that haven't stopped alcohol through just meeting the company, but still know that they need to.
Yeah.
And this is where we're hoping to bridge that gap. You know, these people that just need that sort of push, and that could be by the family members as well. Right. So I can imagine in our community, there's so many people that are looking at certain family members and saying, I really want to get my dad off of alcohol, I want to get my granddad off of alcohol, you know, my husband or something, and then they would probably want to reach out. They might, the person who's actually suffering might be willing to sort of comply, might be willing to say, yeah, okay, I'll go on board, but some people might not actually want to go out their way themselves. So is this for somebody to reach out to, say I'm a 25-year-old who is partying way too much, going to clubs too much. I know I'm not doing anything with my life, and I want to stop alcohol, but I can't stop myself. So I feel like, let me give this a go. Is this for them, or is this, would you say, for somebody who's in their 50s and just unable to live without it, and it's ruining their family life, and either they want to reach out to save their marriage or save their family life, or their family members are reaching out to save their family life? Who would you say it's targeted to in our community? I'd say.
Yeah, I think in our community it could be the younger folk that are partying too much, finding it very difficult to recover. I think the important thing to note is if there's a predisposition to alcohol within their family. So if they've had alcoholic fathers, grandfathers, uncles, and things, it's very likely that you know, if they're partying hard and they're drinking a lot, that it's very likely that could stick. And if it sticks, that's where we can come in and prevent alcoholism. So there's also a prevention.
Okay, so that's why it's better to get them young, like with martial arts as well, instilling it in them young, saving them young before it becomes a proper condition.
Oh,
habit.
absolutely.
And that way we can stop, you know, 50-year-old like parents. Like obviously now that is the case, but then if we tackle them now, the people who are thinking it's a normal thing, then we can have elders who in the next 20 years who are not doing that, and can be better examples to their kids.
Yeah, I think even in the future we're going to try do some home test kits where we can see if they've got a predisposition to it. And I think, you know, a lot of, with the way the world is moving and being further away from God, there is a lot of issues our younger generation are going to face, which is whether it's work or whether it's going to university, partying and drinking alcohol, that they may miss the idea that they may have a predisposition, and they may not even think about it. You know, a lot of people, rightly so, say, you know what, my father is alcoholic, I'll never be that. And you see that because and some people, you know, if they've got family members who are alcoholics, will say, I'll never be like that, and they stick to that. So it can be a positive or a negative reaction to it. But nevertheless, I think our older generation, whether it be uncles, fathers, grandfathers as well, are the ones that struggle the most, I think, because that behavior has been learned over for so long. And a lot of people do turn to Maharaj and say, I wish that, this would, remove this addiction from me, or a lot of them think it's a silent problem and they don't really speak about it. But family members see it, whether it be a daughter, a sister, a husband or a wife, they see what it does to families. They see what it does to work. They see how they react once they've had alcohol. Some people are loving, some people are a bit more violent, whatever it may be. Those things stay in the home. But I think this revolutionizes things, because we're not saying to them quit. We're saying continue drinking, but go through it with us. So we do family support sessions. So a lot of people that come on board, clients that come on board to us, say, I don't think my wife or my husband's going to accept this, because they're going to be like, oh, you just want to drink. That's why you're on this program. So, recently, like last week, one of our coaches did a session with the husband because he didn't really understand it. And he said, my wife just wants to continue drinking. But when you explain it the way we understand it and the science behind it, they're a bit more accepting. And even on coaching sessions, we do family support sessions as well. So, but people can reach out discreetly as well. So if it's somebody that doesn't want their family members to know, we've had a lot of upper come through the program. And we know that this is a bit of a sharam di gal almost, that you don't want to speak about it at home. But they can reach out discreetly.
I hope you're enjoying our content so far. And we've noticed that 90% of our viewers have not subscribed to our channel.
What's going on? Guys, what's going on?
Come on.
What more can we do?
Come on, let's hit that subscribe button. Let's like the videos, let's share it, and let's start connecting.
Come on this journey with us. And the only way you can is if our stuff is coming up on your feed as much as possible. And that's it. Let's walk the path of the Saint Soldier together. The Gurus get brothers, get closer to Sikhi, and we'll go home.
Well, yeah, and also just on that point of people not understanding why like they have to still drink on it. I think that's a very attractive thing about this. As mad as that sounds, because people don't like being told. People don't like being told stop drinking. So here you're saying, do your thing, like
Exactly.
like no one's here forcing you to stop. But just take this, and this will help you. This will just bring it to your conscience, and basically make you realize yourself almost, and then they go on their journey themselves.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Nice.
I mean, the thing is, why is it that people have regret when they've had a bad hangover, or they've drunk too much, or they said things that they didn't want to say? Is because they know it's wrong. But because it sits so deeply in their brain, when they start going through the program, they're going to feel much better. I mean, even in the first instance, a lot of people drink slowly. The effect is immediate, almost with the first drink. A lot of people drink so slowly. One of the first sessions that we ask people to do is, let's have a drink together. So that will be the coach and the patient, and they'll be on a call, and they'll say, take it an hour before, and then join a coaching call in an hour's time. And they say, let's have a drink. Coach will have like a lemonade or a water, and then they'll pour whatever drink that they pour, whether it be a whiskey or wine or a vodka. And they drink so slowly. And they said, I would have had my third or fourth one by now. And so that's that thing of mindful drinking. When they start seeing that happen, and then the next day they're not having the hangovers, they're not having the arguments, they're not being violent anymore, they have fresher minds. And a lot of people love that. They love that even on the second, third day. It's quick responders.
I think if you really want something, you will find a way to do it. And I know that's very easy to say, but what I'm saying is that things like this is, Maharaj Kidpa, we will try to put things out like this more, so it's more accessible to people. So this is, a lot of people wouldn't like you've been around for a few years, like you said, but not many people know of it. But putting it out there, now there's more options for people. Okay, and now obviously you've also got your best friend, which is your das, which is your humble benti to Maharaj, to help you on this journey as well. So before you start the process, say, Maharaj, please help me with this. Please keep me strong and guide me through this journey. And you'll be shocked. Maharaj will just put you around people who are gonna help you with that. And look, nothing's easy. Like the whole process like I said, like I used to be, I think all like me and Raj both used to be involved in different lives. And so that's why we can sort of sit here and say that, it's not easy, but you can do it. And we wouldn't say that we're responsible at the same time for our own change. Like Maharaj has just blessed us. So you just got to pick your hard. You got to pick your heart. It's like through drinking alcohol, so many, and everyone knows it, so many things hard you're enjoying for those 2-3 hours, and then that's it. You're not going to enjoy it after you've had your sleep. You're not going to enjoy it. That whole day now, you're dealing with your parents having a go at you, and that's the most minimal. That's just like a 26-year-old going home and their parents just saying, what are you doing? Your disappointment. But then olders have it a lot different. Like you got kids and stuff, you got responsibility, and it's piling up, and now they're overwhelmed. Your life is going to be so hard if you choose to keep drinking and keep indulging in alcohol. And yeah, you might have a hard training session, and training sessions are hard, and change is hard. But pick your hard. Like, do you want hard? Do you want to face hardship for the rest of your life? That's fine. Enjoy your 2-3 hour session, living like a degenerate.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's just as straight up as you have to be with such a situation with alcohol. Unfortunately, we've treated it as understanding as we are. A lot where it's the music we listen to. It's the Punjabi music that is like advocating it so much, and so when you do enter a process like Sinclair Method, Sequoia Project are always here for you as well.
Yeah.
If you want to reach out and you want to speak to us about your issues, I know we're like, you could say, young guys ourselves, so we can like level with people. Some people don't like to be. Not everybody likes to be spoken to by like elders sometimes, but obviously we can level with you a little bit more. We have a lot of people who reach out to us and say, I want to start training because of this, I want to do that. When we just talk to them, we just share our experiences.
Absolutely.
And then we see how they can get started. So yeah,
I think it's so important to have different levels and different layers of prevention and cure, because like, for example, a lot of people will go through programs like Alcoholics Anonymous, whatever they call it, these AA meetings.
Yeah.
That will be good for them, for a lot of people. For a lot of people, it doesn't work. They keep going back into the cycle. And some people, they don't even need that. Just lucky. Just somehow they stop. Some people, they're so deep, they'll keep going in and out of it. They'll spend so much money. They'll go into debt trying to fix themselves. It doesn't work. Then you got another layer now, something deeper, which is proven. And, you can talk about the success rates yourself. But from what I heard from last speaking to you, the success rates of your program have been very high. So, which is amazing. So now you've got another deeper layer now, which is like, okay, cool, that didn't work, this didn't work, let's move on to this. So we should, as like a community, have many different ways of tackling deep issues. We shouldn't just stop and be like, I think one hesitation a lot of people are going to have, even by listening to this, is like, what do you mean you should drink on it? Realistically, someone is going to drink. They're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, they're going to do it.
They're going to do it anyway.
you're not going to decide.
So who are we to be like, mate, you shouldn't drink? We're not in that situation where I feel so reliant on this thing, it's controlling my whole life. We don't know what that's like. Sometimes we need to step outside and understand everyone's different and everyone has their own demons and issues that they're dealing with. And if we can provide them with some method of helping them that is proven and obviously approved medically as well, then that should be a good thing.
Yeah, I think. See, this is. You guys have hit it home because Sikhi is all about seeking truth, and so Maharaj might, Alcohol Anonymous is always about giving, believing in a higher power, and that's going to get you healed. But it's the tools that we have that we've got to use in order to help ourselves. And so, when it comes to Sinclair Method, it's actually a shame, and we feel quite emotional about it because we're the last company at the edge of the world when everybody's tried everything else, and then they come to us, and then they go on to heal. And maybe that's just the way of the world, and that's just the way it should be. But I think as Maharaj is good about that, I've been able to be involved in this business and to have the relationship I had with you guys to get this to our community, because our community is struggling, and there's a lot that we can do to help support them on that and what they can replace their voids with. And a lot of people will say, well, there's some underlying issues that we need to deal with first before the alcoholism. But there was a study done in Finland that showed that a lot of the people that reach out to us have depression. And so, a lot of our upbringing will say, Madukia, that's why I'm drinking, right? What we found was that vast majority of people that went through the program and achieved close to extinction or on the way to extinction, their depression was gone. Wow. So it was the alcohol causing the depression, right? And the depression was gone after. And so all these other issues that we have surrounding it is because of this poison that we put into our bodies, and it's very disruptive. Most NHS doctors don't know about it. Most medical scientists don't know about it because they're taught once an alcoholic, you're always an alcoholic. Whereas, you know, these are very loving people that have, as you said as well, that they have, you know, good jobs, or they, you know, they work out as well, and, you know, high functioning people. But alcohol is that grip that it has on them. And I think a lot of these people, you know, an alcoholic will go through the morning and feel great, but when it comes 2 p.m, they start craving for alcohol because they're thinking about the evening. You know, and imagine replacing that thought with something else, whether it be coming to the Gurdwara, doing seva, or whether it's working out, you know, doing more for the community, spending more time with the family. That's where families heal, is once you've tackled it. It's just a disruptive way that people need to accept.
Yeah,
You know, so-
no, 100%.
Yeah.
So how can people access this then? So how can they contact you?
They can reach out to us via the website, or whatever, you know, links you guys can help set up to direct them towards us.
Yeah.
They will simply reach out by filling our medical screening forms on our website. Very
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah.
It'll just be all their details, how much they're drinking, allergies, any medications they're taking,
Yeah.
how much they're drinking,
Yeah.
what they're drinking, how often they're drinking, and a bit of a background of their drinking as well. So we've got a
Yeah.
bit of context.
Yeah.
Once they've done that, they'll go on to an initial onboarding call with one of our coaches.
Yeah.
The coaches will onboard them, book
Yeah.
them a doctor's consultation.
Yeah.
That will last about half an hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And then usually they get their medication the next day.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's about, from the moment them filling the form out, they'll get everything sorted and up and running within 72 hours.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fast moving.
That
That's
is-
good.
that is
Absolutely.
As it should be. It's really good as well that you've got, like you said, one of the coaches has been through the process and has sort of gone through like being addicted to alcohol before as well, so they can relate to people. You got people that can relate with the patients. Which is,
Yeah, I mean, we even said to him, he told us a story when we were at a meeting in Liverpool, like a team meeting, just discussed the growth of the company. And he was explaining the story to us, and we said, well done, well done. He said, why are you saying well done? And he said, I just followed and was compliant, and, you know, it healed my brain. And now, imagine the way he thinks of alcohol now. He looks at it and says, why are people drinking petrol and diesel? That's the way he thinks of it now.
crazy. And that's exactly what it is.
You know?
It's something that's not good for you.
Yeah.
In any capacity.
Absolutely.
It's not good for you.
Yeah.
It just makes you feel good for a few seconds.
Yeah.
Someone said, I mean, we've probably seen this all over the internet. Like people say that if alcohol was invented now, it would just be completely illegal. Like it would.
Oh, yeah.
It's been around for ages now, so people are profiting off it. But if it was made now, there's no way that this would be, out to the masses.
Yeah.
I think it's also a profiting thing as well. So naltrexone and nalmefene are generic drugs. They're not patented. No pharmaceutical company is going to pick up a drug where you have to, where then you stop taking it. So a lot of the patients will eventually stop taking it, or they take it so infrequently. The other thing is that rehab make a lot of money, right? Rehab centers, inpatient, detox, that type of thing. And there is a place for some people there, but for a lot of our apne are not going to admit themselves to a detox. They're not going to go to Alcohol Anonymous or anything like that. It's a silent problem that they have, and they keep it quiet. They keep it behind closed doors.
Yeah.
But the rehab is government funded, and it costs about 30 all the way up to £80,000 for a 28-day stay. Wow. You know, and so, you know, that is the industry that we're in, and that's the infrastructure that we're looking at.
Yeah. You touched on a good point there, that like, because this problem we see massively in our community. We've all seen it. We all know uncles or, distant family members, maybe close family members, whatever it may be. Drinking is like a normal thing to them, and not drinking a little bit, not drinking moderately,
A lot.
heavy drinking, constant, like all the time, daily, weekly, whatever it may be. And you just said that like a lot of them would not go to a program like Alcoholics Anonymous, even if that would help them. They wouldn't go there. It's more of it's a prideful thing, right? It's the ego.
Yeah.
And that ego is such a obviously it's a big problem which controls our whole life. But in our community especially, for some reason, pride seems to be a real big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the pride. It's all pride and ego because they don't want to talk about it, especially in their family home. If they don't want to talk it indoors, and even if they've got a problem, they're not going to admit that it's a problem because as soon as they admit it's a problem, it's weakness.
Yeah.
You know,
it affects their ego even more.
Oh, absolutely. And the ones that do change are the ones that admit that they've got a problem.
Nice.
Because if you reach out to us, and if I showed you some of the forms that are being filled out, we get paragraphs and paragraphs of people writing their background of drinking and saying, please help, you know, and that they've removed that ego and pride away from them to reach out for a helping hand. And for one hand that they reach out to us, we reach out with 10, you know, and so, you know, and that's where this can be done discreetly as well. You know, we've had some up in here that have reached out and they don't want their family members to know, and that's okay. Because they want to kind of show the results as and when they come, and then, you know, they see that and then they tell them that I was on this program. And there's a lot of people that do that, and it's just about education, really, you know. It's really all it's about.
No, that's brilliant. So and what's different with this is, like you said, you don't really have to go anywhere. They don't have to go anywhere. They can do all this from their home.
Yeah.
So they get the tablets delivered to them.
Yep.
And they can pick up the phone. Can they pick up the phone anytime to one of your coaches?
Yeah, anytime. I mean, obviously Monday to Friday, but we're pretty much available all the time. I mean, we're looking to even scale our team because, I mean, most of the people that come through our doors are British people. We've been on the front cover of Times. We've been on the Telegraph. We had 2 Daily Mail articles come out last weekend. So we've been, you know, inundated with inquiries, like so many inquiries. But yeah, they can. Yeah.
I remember you telling me there was a case with was it a Punjabi lady? But I remember you told me another story about someone who had a whole bottle and they had the tablet, and the next day the whole bottle was
very common. I mean, it happens with a lot of people where they will probably drink, you know, a bottle of, you know, wine a night, and they'll even if they're quick responders, most people are, you see the effects immediately, and they would drink on the medication, right? Imagine they're drinking a bottle of wine a day, so they've got to pour, let's say 6-7 glasses, right? So she poured one, drank through a full glass, and then started pouring the second one, and she forgot she left it there, and she went to sleep.
Wow.
And she woke up the next morning, she said, I can't believe that bottle's laying there.
And that in itself, it must be such a confidence booster.
Oh, it absolutely is.
You know,
Yeah.
It must be like key.
Because, you know, for a lot of people, they may think it's a long journey. Everybody wants a quick fix.
Yeah.
Now, 3 to 4 months is not a long journey, but you see the effects each and every day. It's like going on a long journey. If we, you know, took a drive up to from here, Birmingham, all the way up to Scotland, it will be 6 hours. Let's say that's 3-4 months. A lot of people have alcohol-free days. It's like, I just don't feel like having a drink today, even though they're daily drinkers, right? And so they get to, let's just say we get to services, it's good to take a rest, you know, and it's good to take those alcohol-free days, because that's when the brain starts rewiring itself. It's resting, and then you go back onto the journey. And then when you get to the end, you no longer think of alcohol. So the key indicators of success is they're feeling healthier, they're feeling mentally better. They're also feeling like they've got a little bit more control over alcohol, because it's almost like they're a bit shocked at the beginning. Kind of, you know, if you see this, I've still got, you know, half a glass of water left, but they'll kind of look at that over the hour and say, you know what, I would have gone through another one. So they kind of just sit there like, well, I'm not feeling to have another one. And whatever those things are, that's where the coaching comes in place as well. Because those things can help. And I think family support sessions are important, because we've got a lot of you know, English speaking coaches, and we're looking to get multilingual coaches, people that can speak Punjabi as well, and Punjabi doctors as well. So you know, a lot of the things, a lot of the processes can be explained even by myself if they reach out, but also you know, if it's the daughter or the you know, the uncle, even if they wanted to reach out in the first instance to be like, I want to explain this to my father, I want to explain this to my uncle, my grandfather, whoever it may be, my husband, we can give them the information that they need to explain it properly to them, to the person that's suffering, and we can do those support sessions together on the first call as well.
Yeah. Okay. Wicked. Now that's wicked. A Punjabi coach.
Oh, that would be amazing.
That'd be
Yeah.
very
If you guys
helpful.
have someone you guys know
we'll do.
that you know that is looking for a career in this space,
Yeah.
I mean, the coaches find it so rewarding.
Yeah.
I mean, as you can imagine, they go through, you know, 200, 300 caseloads a month.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of them shed tears because they're just saying, you know, this person came to me and they were struggling, I mean, you even see their faces change on video calls. You know, they would have that kind of flush face because of the jaundice or wherever it may be. Liver's getting better, they're working out, spending more time with their family. And on the third, fourth, fifth call, sometimes they come up and they're looking great. And, you know, a lot of the clients even shed tears because they couldn't believe how far they've come in such a short space of time.
This is why I want to get something like this out to our community in particular, because like I know that firstly I know that this will help, but then I know what they have after that. If they have Sikhi and they have martial arts, it's Sikh Warrior Project. You can't go wrong.
You can't.
Because what is Sikhi do? Sikhi, you know, the root cause of all this is this conditioning that you're talking about. You've conditioned yourself to be addicted to this substance that makes you feel a certain way. Sikhi is about removing that conditioning, not just from the substances, from everything. Removing that conditioning, going back to your true self. That is the ultimate aim.
Absolutely.
Obviously, I'm going into something very deep here, but ultimately that is what governs all of the negative things in our life. It comes from these conditioning that we've created ourselves and put these layers on top of ourselves. Sikhi will help you dispel all that. So if you do manage to quit with this or reduce your drinking, having a Sikhi with you or martial arts with you is gonna just support you further.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So honestly, if anyone's listening to this, like, you know, if you feel like you need something like the Sinclair Method, we highly vouch for it. And then after that, do your ardas and just say, Maharaj, help me keep this going. Help me keep this momentum going. Bring things in. Please help me bring things into my life that will help me not, you know, so what's the word? Relapse. Help me go back, and that will be sangat and training, Sikhi and sangat, and only Maharaj can give you that. So it's a step. This is a big stepping stone into that. I think just one of the last like questions from myself, unless Raj has more to add. So say if a 25, 26-year-old does approach, to some people it might be like, okay, wait, so I have to take this every day of my life, like I can never stop? Is it not like, okay, they can take it for a year, they've now replaced that feeling with martial arts, they've replaced that feeling with gym, they've replaced that feeling with Sikhi, and now their life's in a very good place a year later, can they now start easing off the medication?
Yeah, it's they wouldn't take it daily. So there's a lot of organizations out there that say you have to take it daily. We only say you have to take it 1 hour before a drinking session. And because and this
so like a party, say if you're going to a wedding and you know I could relapse here, you would take it before then.
You would only take it an hour before. So and this is what the uncanny thing about this, which is kind of weird how it happens, but some people have this idea when they reach out to us first and they say, I just want to reduce my drinking. It's not really them talking, it's their addiction brain saying, you're going through change, you're going to give me up and I'm going to be without it. Let's just try and, you know, compensate a little bit. Those people that go through the program, they get 3-4 months into the program, they say, I don't even feel like drinking, because they don't know what's going to happen when it comes to extinction, right? And because the brain completely rewires itself, their perception of alcohol completely changes. So when you give that example of somebody going a year and then they kind of come off it, you know, in a way, it's very unlikely that will come off it, because they will say, you know what, I no longer want to, and this is a strong thing about this, I no longer want to go back to my old self. And so I'm just going to take, and we always, you know, suggest that they carry pill holders, you know, even on their car keys. It might be, you know, an odd drinking session or a wedding or whatever it may be. And they take it an hour before, and that and that's the main thing. We never say to them, take it daily. You know,
That's fine. That's
only on drinking sessions.
No, that makes a lot of sense. It's places where your mind is conditioned to, like it associates this event or this time with drinking. You take out those times.
And we also have a lot of people that you know, when it comes to other traditional programs out there, whilst they're great, the success rates are not where Sinclair Method is. I mean, our success rates are around 80%. Whereas when you look at AA and rehab, they're around 5 or 10%. And by that, I mean, within 1 year, 95% of people will relapse.
Wow.
Now, when people come through the program, they're a bit frightened of getting away from social situations where it involves alcohol. And we say, no, it's okay. The golden rule is take it 1 hour before a drinking session. And the other golden rule, which is associated to that, is saying, drink under normal circumstances. And people are a bit relieved like that, because a lot of the other programs may say, you've got to, you know, those friends, those are the wrong people. You need to, you should stop hanging around in those areas. You should stop going to the pub every single Saturday and whatnot. We say no, continue under normal circumstances. What we then find is the friends that they have around them start reaching out to us because they're saying, I can't believe my friend only had one when he could have gone through 6 or 7. How did you do that?
And you've seen this happen.
We've seen this happen. We had this last week. We had one person that went through the program. He's only 2 months in, by the way. And his friend reached out and he said, I went to the pub with him, and he only had one. But normally he would go through 6 or 7. And I kind of want to be like that. So it doesn't shun off all the, things that we have as our fulfilling life, which is spending time with family, spending time in weddings and stuff. Still go to those events, just under normal circumstances is fine. Yeah. Just make sure you take it an hour before. Yeah. So that's what we're seeing right now, which is mad.
Wow, that is so sick.
Harvey, I was going to ask, in our community, the elders, I feel like a lot of them, because they got that pride that we were talking about earlier, or maybe even a feeling of shame, they won't reach out directly themselves, even though they're suffering from this. And they might even want to, subconsciously, even consciously, they want to reach out, but they just can't bring themselves to do it. What would you say to those people? Would you say, if their family members are listening now, would you say for them to reach out on their behalf? Is that okay? Like, what kind of...
Both are okay. So if there is somebody that's thinking about reaching out, but it's a bit of a ego thing or pride thing that they don't want to, we can assure you that we're non-judgmental and we're confidential. And that's why a lot of people come to us as well. So that's number one. Number two is family members are more than happy to reach out. So if they want to speak to the daughter or the son, or the brother or whoever it may be, a family member or even a friend that wants to reach out on their behalf, they're happy to even fill out the medical screening on their behalf. But just make sure to make the note on there. Then we're more than happy to process that. But I think a lot of up in here are a little bit hesitant to do that. But just be assured that everything is handled privately, confidentially. Confidentiality is a huge thing. We're GDPR trained, safeguard trained as well, and so either way is possible. So
well, Harvey, honestly, that's been so insightful. We're glad to have met you. We've just literally had just general conversations about training, about martial arts. You're so into UFC as well, and we're glad that we can work together to put what you're working on out to our community. And Maraj Kirpa, hopefully this resonates with a lot of people, and it's something that they feel aligns with their situation.
Absolutely, man.
And they can get started, they can evolve. We've let people know how they can contact Harvey and Sinclair Method, and there'll be a lot more on the video that we will add in where you can contact Sinclair Method, reach out on our Instagram. We'll definitely have some links there as well. And yeah, like we said, we're always here as well to support you throughout your journey. If you do decide to opt into the process, then we're always here to help you with the process as well. Transitioning your lifestyle into a more martial arts based lifestyle, Sikhi based lifestyle. We're all here. We're all brothers and sisters of the Banth. We're all here for each other, and that's what we're here to do. So Harvey, thank you so much, bro. We appreciate it. If you got any closing of comments to the community?
No, apart from the fact that you guys are doing a great job for the community, for the Banth. And I think it's Maraj Kirpa that we're here today to have this type of discussion.
Yeah.
And I think it could be revolutionary. I think if we can tackle this serious issue within our community, it's all for the better. Families heal, and people get closer to Maraj, and I think that's the main purpose here. But I think the only thing I wanted to mention was, if there's anybody that is a bit afraid or hesitant to reach out to us, I'm sure they can reach out to you guys in the first instance to have that conversation, 100%. And then send them over to us.
100%.
But apart from that, no, I think this has been great. Thank you so much.
No, yeah. Obviously, we've even like outside of this, I've just put some people forward to you as well, haven't I?
Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely.
In the past few weeks, we've spoken to people who have used to be addicted to alcohol, you could say, and then changed their lives through fitness and Sikhi. And we've had people who have changed their lives through boxing, becoming a coach, and now doing so much for the community. And all these people are now influencing the community and making change in the community. And now we've got Sinclair Method as well, a process that you can sort of get involved in, and a stepping stone into change, into lifetime change. So Marj Kirpa, it's been a great series, and thank you for being a part of it.
Thank you.
And thank you so much, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.